Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. So we are going to continue surviving Pertam, the wastelands, and we gotta change out this grinding rover crane into a drilling machine. Right, so today's episode is going to be changing out this crane system into more of a drilling machine, and to do that I'm contemplating if I want to add another piston or so to it. I know there's iron. I have some iron that I need to drill for. So I think I might need to make a third piston going down so we can get as low as we can to get it. Right. So if I add a third piston here, we will likely be able to grab as much as we can at the very bottom for the ores, right? But the trickiest part is going to be how heavy it's going to turn out to be with it all there in front. But let me just lay this thing out as low as I can without breaking anything and see if I could start grinding this down. I really should start making some kind of modular attachment for these things here so we don't have to keep grinding it down and then reattach stuff like I'm doing now. And of course, if you're new to this series, this used to be the welding crane that turned into a grinding crane, and now it's turning into a drilling crane. So there's a lot of changes here that are happening, and again, I should really make it modular so that I can swap it out. So it's a lot easier to deal with. And it looks like I need to just move this along a little bit higher. I really am gonna turn this into a modular system so it's a lot quicker, so I can just swap out to whatever I need. So whether it's a drilling system, a welding system, or a grinding system, I can just do that really quickly and just swap it out. And I'm just gonna swap out the heads basically. So gotta find a good way of doing that later down the line. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but should be okay. Alright, so that's all there. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit so I can add the drills like so, and I gotta also figure out the piston system there. So which one is this one? The W's. Okay, so that's the front one. So W is the front one, and I just made a new one which I have no idea which one that is. And I should probably do shared inertia for those guys. So one of them without shared inertia should be it, which is this one. The next part is adding drills. So here is where it's gonna get tricky because drills sometimes can be quite heavy, and I want to put a good number of drills and also a camera. So I want a camera kind of directly in the middle, so I'm gonna have to put a conveyor right here, and then I'll put drills on the side. So I have this here, like so, like that. I can put a camera, if I have it here, camera right here, smack dab in the middle, like that, so I can see on the ground when I'm drilling. There you go. Perfect. We have a camera there, and now for a drill system, we can put the drill on the side like that. So we can add one here. Oh, let's see, it's getting a little heavy. Another one here, and we can add one up here and one down there if we wanted to as well. But I think we should be okay. I think I'm gonna add a third one like that. That way we can get a decent amount of drilling. We can carry fourth one, maybe think about it. But I think this is gonna be good enough. So let me just weld these guys up really quickly. Alright, so we are done with that. So we have 3 going on here, and I hope it's not too heavy, to be honest. It probably is. But then again, it probably just dropped only because I put them on there. So let's see if we bring this back. Yeah, it is a bit on the heavy side here. So that's not a good thing. So we can move it a little bit, but it's not ideal. Okay, so let me just throw this down here and take out one. If you take out one, then we should be decent. It shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so we took out one, so now we have 2 arms. And honestly, if I had enough mats, I'll just make another crane system. Maybe I'll just design another crane system if I have enough mats. So then we could do a welding crane, a grinding crane, and a drilling crane separately. But probably similar design, I would think. That's a lot of mats though, so I don't know if that's gonna be completely possible. Okay, so adding, just having 2, it's still a little bit rough, and I think that's because we have 3 pistons, which adds some weight, and then the 2 drills, so that adds additional weight itself too. But I think this might work out as long as I don't fill up the drills. We should be okay. If the drills gets filled up, that's where we're gonna probably have problems. Kind of having a little bit of a problem right now, and it seems like I can't necessarily move this guy forward, the arm itself, taking some power to do. So let me increase the, maybe the torque, I don't know, shared inertia is on here on the welder, so on the hinge for the welder at least I should say. So let's change that up a little bit. It's not really, oh, there you go. It'll pick it up a little bit better, but not too much. And it looks like the torque itself is on pretty high. The braking, if we put higher, we're not gonna be able to move, but it does, no, it still bounces a bit. That's not good. But having it spaced out like that might not work that great in terms of going down and drilling for stuff. So I'm not sure how well that's gonna react at the moment. So okay, so we do that, and we can see 2 drills. Perfect. Well, we'll see what happens. So let's go to, alright, so we're gonna unpark and we're gonna drive towards an ore deposit. And the only ore deposit that I know of that's fairly close, it's about 3 kilometers away that way. Oh, you know what? Before we go too far, you know what we can do? Let me just balance this guy out a little bit first. And what we can do is actually put an ore detector like we mentioned previously. So let's just do that now. And I think we can put it towards the back. So let's just do that. Alright, we got an ore detector right in the back. So we just laid it out on that little platform that I had available. So we just left it there. And we should get going. So it looks like the storm is brewing a bit, but it should go away soon. But hopefully it doesn't do too much to me in any way. So let's go exploring. We can increase the ore detector. Where are you? Right here. To the range of 150 just in case. Probably don't need it that high, but it should be okay. And we can kind of explore some spots that I didn't mark previously, but mostly it was silicone, to be honest. Like right here in front of us, silicone. Saw this one already, decided to ignore that one. This one is iron. Actually, this one is a lot closer than the one that I was planning to go to, and that was towards the settlements. So now we know this iron here, we might as well iron out the situation and grab it from here. So that's actually not too bad of an idea. So let's just park here if we can. And hop into our drilling machine. And we should be able to go down this way and not break anything, hopefully. And I do want to get a little bit closer to that marker right there, which I might be Alright, I'm a little to the ground, so I'm a little bit too far. So let's just go a little bit closer. Right about there. We can park it and we can now test this out. So we'll bring it down kind of 90 degrees here. We can bring it down a little bit more. I hope don't break anything. And we can use the camera if we wanted to. It's a little bit hard to see right now. But it'll be useful to just do it this way. Okay. So what I want to do is do a right click drill first. Just to be able to see a bigger hole. Hopefully I don't dig my own grave here. And then I guess we could use our camera now if I can see. Should have added a light to this, but it looks like iron's right here, so that's a good thing. So it was actually not even that far, the iron. So we're gonna bring this guy down and we should be able to get as much iron as possible this way. I think we're gonna be able to get some stone too. Not exactly what I want, but not too bad. So this is gonna replenish a lot of our supplies for steel plates and other things that is necessary, which is good and perfect. So the only biggest problem I have here is how much space is this gonna kind of take over for my small cargo containers. So if I fill it all up, it shouldn't be that bad, to be honest. If I had a large cargo container, I know I built rovers with like multiple cargo containers and fill them up, I think with 2 or 3 large ones. It usually gives me the biggest problem because it's way too heavy, to be honest. And you probably shouldn't be doing things like that. Unless you have like a really big wide wheelbase and everything like that. So right now, as you see with the camera, we're doing pretty decent. I do wish I can sway this thing a little bit more than what I'm able to do now. Yeah, because it's just kind of dangling down 9 degrees. I can't really get swing forward as much as I wanted to. Like so. I can get it close to like a 9 degrees really. Or straight down. Not 9 degrees, straight down. I can't really push it any further forward because it keeps wanting to sway back. And the other thing is, once I'm full on my cargo containers, that's gonna be it, because I don't want to fill up my drills, which is gonna cause a lot of problems. So let's just keep getting some more iron. I think this deposit is not that great because I'm starting to get stone, I think. Well, let's see if the dust settles a bit. Yeah, that's mostly stone, so I gotta kind of sway it back to get the iron itself. So this doesn't help because of the storm. I can't see jack right now. I can see it from here, but what I think I need to do is drive it up a little bit more. I can't see a thing. Oh. We are falling backwards. Alright, let's just drive a little bit closer to the hole. Alright, let's sway this forward a bit. Let's just take a look. Let's right click drill, quick, make a little hole here. And it's just extremely hard to see. Alrighty. Yeah, I can't see a thing in this storm. And it's not necessarily the storm that's the issue. I just can't see too well on here. So where was the iron here? What is going on? So this is iron, that's iron, this is iron. Okay. I kind of wasted some of the iron here. Because it's not very low to the ground whatsoever. So let's just grab that. And I think we should be good to go. I mean, grabbing all this iron has collected. I guess we got 36 for these guys, 40, and some stone. The stone helps. It'll give us nickel and silicone and all that stuff. So that's always kind of helpful. So now we're gonna drill out the rest of this iron here. Really, I should. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a different kind of drilling system with additional hinges. Because one hinge is not enough to carry all this weight in terms of the drill system and the pistons. But as you can see, we actually didn't even need that many pistons, especially for grabbing iron at this height. We barely extended at all, so that's another thing. But maybe there's more deeper down. I don't know. It says it's about 20 kilometers away where we should have our iron. So I don't know. It's kind of weird that it's. Oop, that's not good. I broke the camera. The drill is fine. This drill is fine. Oh, what is it doing? What is it doing? Alright, I think we're okay. So the drills are fine. The conveyor is busted. And that's a problem because we have no mats to fix that. So we'll probably have to go back. I think this system probably benefits having one piston instead of two. And maybe one drill instead. So let's just bring this guy up. Let's flip this back over so we can lock it in place. Oh, that's scary. Lucky that does kind of bounce off and not break anything. Let's unpark this guy. Alright, let's just head back and fix this up a little bit. And also deposit our collection so far. Alright, so we actually do have a decent amount of mats right now in the small cargo containers. So if we look at the cargo here, we have a 40k for each container and have 6 containers. So that's 240k roughly of mats, which is not too bad. Yeah, 240k of iron is a pretty good amount, and it should yield us a lot of like steel plates and other iron related materials that we need. So alright, so we are good. Luckily we filled up before we broke everything. We probably broke because my drills got a little heavy because everything got filled up a little too much, but not a problem. So we're gonna bring this guy back into its slot here, and going first person kind of seems to be the strat here, but I don't know how far I'm gonna go to kind of get this guy locked. So I gotta stop. It's way too heavy, this thing right now. We're connected and we should be good to go with getting the iron out of this thing. But let's see if I can kind of drop this guy without breaking anything. That is quite close. Okay, that way we kind of fixed that thing. The camera system, a little too close to the drills, a little hard to see, so it's not ideal. We also need some lights, maybe like an interior light too, because I can see a thing really. It could have been a storm, but we were so close to the rock anyways, or the floor or the ground, and it's so hard to see. So let's fix that. What was that? That was a conveyor that was broken, so we just need conveyor parts. And we could find a way to fix this a little bit better. So that went down like 20k, so it wasn't even that bad. So we probably don't need that many drills, right? It worked out pretty well with just kind of like one drill. Uh-oh, I'm losing parts here. Not parts, I'm losing iron here. Gotta Grab this guy. Let's get rid of this one too. I don't think we need this much, right? So I shouldn't even fix this, to be honest, right? Alright, so I think 2 pistons more than enough. Oh, that was a little bit too much. It broke the piston head, it looks like. So there goes some mats. Not too bad. The most important thing is I didn't create a hole. Okay. So how should I do this? If we put a drill here, which we can easily, right over here, we still have an issue of putting up a camera. If I put a camera right here, it's gonna be just as close as before in a way, but maybe not. So let's see what would be the best way to kind of do this. We could put a camera on that piston over there by putting, I guess we could do the slope block tip here. So put that there, and we have a camera, and we could put it right, I think that's the right way. Yep, that should be the right way. And here is where, okay, that didn't work out as planned. Hopefully I can reach it. And yes, I can. Can reach the camera, kind of. This jump welding, obviously not ideal, but doable. Right, so that looks decent. It's not the best thing in the world. And if we go in here to add the camera, we can see a little bit better. Problem is, it is the opposite motion that I want it to be, because we're looking through the inside instead of the outside. So probably should have just left it on the outside. That would probably ideal, but whatever. It looks like all the stuff is still here. Alright, so yeah, there was a bit of an issue where I thought I broke something, but no, it just wasn't locked. The connector was unlocked on the top half of the crane system, so I wasn't able to transfer stuff. Okay, so a refinery has all the iron here being done. Let's just move everything to probably one of the large cargo containers, and we're good. All right, so we have 235 here, and we have some on the refinery itself, about 16. But we're getting a good amount of iron now, which is perfect. Exactly what we needed. And we could definitely get more if we need to, which probably can. Why not? So we emptied out this here. Let's try to get more from that same little deposit point, but this time we're going to use a singular drill system instead of a double drill system. And I think if I am to make a drilling rover similar to this crane system, which seems to be pretty good in terms of getting materials or drilling and mining, I probably would attach multiple hinges to each point so it can carry the weight a little bit better. I mean, it's not terrible what it's doing now, but I would prefer it to be more maneuverable, where I can move it up and down a lot better without too much issues. So more on that later on, but I still need a lot more mats, so we can continue to get the iron here or explore other parts to see what's there. But let's see, we don't have too much iron left here anyways, to be honest, it looks like. So we're gonna get close to the hull, which the whole rover fits through this hull with no issues, which is great. But let's just see. With the camera, it's a little hard to see it this way. I should have really put it on the outside, not the inside, but it's okay. We'll bring this down a little bit here, and we can kind of see what we're dealing with now. So we have a little bit here, but we have a bunch more there. So we extend it this way. Oh, so extend it that way. And I think we should be able to get a lot more ore this way. So putting the camera there, it's okay. It's definitely not ideal that me going left is going right. And me going right is going left. But I still still have the same problem where I can't really extend it forward and backwards too much. It's gonna be a weight issue, I think, here. But we should be able to get a decent amount of iron this way. Can I extend this forward? I kind of can. Yeah, I kind of can. It is being a pain where it's actually falling back towards me, which is not exactly what I want. So we could counter that actually. We can bring this up and then down. Like so. So I guess that would kind of deal with it. Not ideal, but it kind of works out. I would prefer to be able to maneuver a little bit more. And if we do change this up where we can carry more weight in the front, what we can do is actually put another hinge system on the drill itself. That way we can fine-tune drilling by making a massive hole initially, and then we can just kind of angle it from there. And if we wanted to, we can add a rotor there so we can angle it around a little bit more too. Not necessary, but if just having an extra hinge point or joint, we should be able to, you know, be very specific with our drilling here. So it looks like, I think my drill is a little heavy right now. Is it? It's collecting. Did I break something? And there's a chance that I did, because I felt it already while I'm controlling it that it's a little heavy. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. I could have... Oh, fell right into the pit. That's not good. Alright, so I'm able to get out. I think what I did wrong, or what I broke, is probably the piston. I think. I hope not, but my drill is kind of full, and I broke some. I definitely broke something. So if I move it towards the right there, I would be able to kind of inspect it from here. So what did I break? I broke the piston head. So I need some steel plates for this. So that's an issue because I don't think I have any parts. Nope. I completely drained myself out. So we need some steel plates. So I'm gonna grab it from the rover itself. Probably not a good idea, but when you're desperate for stuff, that's the way to go, I guess. There you go. So that way we should have everything flowing correctly. So now I should be up. Okay, so now I'm able to move it a little bit better. So that definitely was not ideal, but it had to be done. It was minimal anyway, so not too crazy. Yeah, I don't like the fact that I can't really push this forward too much. I mean, I guess I can a little bit here, but not really reacting exactly how I wanted to react. So I'm able to push it forward, but I'm hitting the walls a bit here. But I like this drilling system because I can do my own little circular motion in drilling. I mean, if you like drilling like as much as I do, this is pretty fun to just do instead of having an automated system that kind of goes in a circular fashion to drill for you. This is more of a manual drilling system, which is not too bad. It's okay. And the fact that, you know, you can kind of fine-tune where you're grabbing stuff, is especially when you're not making any ships to gather or mine for you. So this is a pretty nifty idea, and it worked out pretty well, to be honest. And it's definitely gonna take some time to get all this iron here. But wow, the iron is actually very, very close to the surface. That's very interesting. So I guess when it's on a mountainous area, it will be pretty close to the surface like so. Alright, so it looks like we have 3 more cargo containers to fill up. So we're going to keep on drilling here and try to fill them as much as possible. Alright, so we filled up on our cargo. It looks like we have filled up a little more than we wanted to. So I think we yielded a little bit more than 260k worth of iron this time. So I think we are fairly iron rich. So we can bring this guy back and offload our iron from here. Alright, so so here's the thing. So with all this iron, you know, it's gonna give me the ability to make it's gonna give me the ability to finish the home, or another idea is to finish the little rover that I was gonna make. And lastly, potentially create additional crane systems to help me with everything else. So I need a drilling system, a welding system, and a grinding system. Or should I just make it modular, where I can change the heads out? But I think if I change the heads out, I do need to kind of change out the design a little bit, because if I change it to drill system, it definitely needs a lot more kind of ability to swing the arm a little bit better and have better control. I realized the sun is beaming that way, and I can see my shadow of turbines spinning here. That's quite the distance of shadows, basically. That's very interesting. I didn't realize how far it goes. But I wanted to combine and see what this is, and that is cobalt, which is perfect. Really, there's nothing more you can ask for than having cobalt near your base, because that's going to be for your metal grids. Of course, that's more useful if you're making making ships, so you can make you know, atmospheric thrusters and things like that. So unfortunately, I'm not making ships, so we don't need this too much, but it does help us to create like large cargo containers and things like that too. Looks like there's a little more iron here as well, right next to this cobalt. And there's some nickel. Too bad I don't see any gold or silver, and even platinum. If we had all those, wow, I'll be really happy, because then we can upgrade our tools, and we can make a lot more stuff with it too. But it looks like we have iron here, which is interesting because I didn't even see the white little patches, but it's actually on the grass itself, so that's not too bad. So I think later on down the line, I do need silicone, because of the windows that I'm making. It shouldn't require too much, but just in case, I'll probably go look for it. And I shouldn't really be exploring too much, because this thing is super heavy right now. Everything's completely full. But sure, why not? Just gonna move around a little bit. And it looks like we have more cobalt here. This is actually really good. That there's a good amount of cobalt right next to the base. Again, not much I can use it for really specifically, but it's always good to know there's cobalt around here. So I just saw a red marker that said the SPRT's claim. It was kind of like one of those settlements that we had. I think this was one of them is Bailey, which is right down the middle of the not crevice but the mountains, and there was one here. This is the Bailey claim. Oh no, that is the one. That's the same one, Bailey claim. I was just reading claim, and I thought that was an additional one that we haven't explored just yet. So we're definitely going to explore more settlements sooner or later down the line, because they look pretty cool. And of course, I want to bring my grinder system that way, so we could grind down and get mats that way. But also, they have some cargo containers that yield pretty neat stuff as well. So always fun to kind of get into those situations and look at it. And I realized one point I was trying to fix my game, because my load actually crashed one time and wouldn't want to load, and I'm trying to figure out why. And I removed all mods except for abandoned settlements at one point, and that kind of fixed it, and I was able to keep my save file, which is perfect. But that's what got rid of my motorcycle, if you're curious. So I think I just gotta load it back up and rebuild it. so I can kind of use that as my exploration. But I think I'm gonna keep building that rover I have in mind there. It's a bit of a project I'm working on while I'm doing all this at the same time, or waiting for things to kind of produce and stuff like that. So once that gets finished, that's going to be my main rover for a lot of things, such as like traveling and exploring, especially past the crevice, if anything. And it's probably likely going to have some kind of defenses, survival kit, so we can always use that to travel with. And of course, we're gonna make a small grid. I mean, I prefer to make large grids sometimes because it can take a little more damage, especially if it runs into stuff. But small grid, it's not ideal when you get targeted by like turrets and stuff, because it gets destroyed so fast. Especially if it's light armor blocks and not heavy armor blocks. We should have it good enough so we can just use that to explore, basically. So I think we are extremely off here for whatever reason. So for some reason I can't line this big guy up properly, so we're just gonna have to back it up. And we're ready. Okay, so there you go. Okay, we're locked. That's locked, top's locked. We're good to transfer mats over. So here we go. We can throw all this in here. And we should have a ton of stone now. Not stone, iron. Well, we do have a ton of stone also, but a ton of iron as well. And it would look like we have 423 iron now. Iron ores to refine, which is perfect. And our refinery here has 11 or so K. So we got close to 500, I would think, of iron. And we're breaking it all down already. So we are good to go. Only problem is we gotta wait for all this to kind of grind down or refine to start building stuff. I am curious to know if we can make mods. I want to be able to make speed modules and yield modules. Can we make yield modules? We need superconductors. I don't think we have enough mats for superconductors. Superconductors requires gold, and we don't have much gold. Can we make 20 of these guys? Can we make 20? It looks like we might not be able to make 20. If we are able to make 20, then we can have at least one yield module, which would be pretty useful. Okay, we can only make 4 superconductors because, well, we haven't found gold really. So that's the biggest thing. We found gold through mining the holes that we had from asteroids when we did Armageddon mode, which was fun until I couldn't drive my rovers around too much, so I decided to turn it off. For the purposes of now, we kind of want to speed things up a little bit, so we just need to get to our speed module, and we need more computers. Interesting that I ran out of computers, so we're a little rich here, so we can just queue up as much as I can. And I want to get to the back. I think I have to get to the top. Yeah, I have to get to the top of this refinery. So what we can do is just make a bit of a stairwell for ourselves. Here we go. So we got a little bit of a ramp here, and we can add the speed module right over here. So we just plop this big boy on right into this small little port, and we should be good to go, I believe. And we're missing 5 computers. There we go. So we can put that there. We get our speed here, and I guess we can add 1 more. Or we could add all 4 if we really wanted to. I think we'll just add here. Alright, so then we have 2 speed modules here. You know, if we have the mats, we might as well add it all, right? And it might be a while until we get some gold. So screw it. I think I'm just gonna do it and just add the speed mods here. Yeah, so that way we can just speed up production and refine our ores as quickly as possible. It's gonna use a lot of power, but that tower over there is gonna work out pretty well. What's flying? That is flying. Oh, I thought that was some kind of strange vehicle in the sky, but it was just my drill. So unknown signal fell in the crevice. Great. That's always fun. It's been a while since I actually got an unknown signal because it keeps falling in a crevice. And once I get down there, I can't get out. That's the biggest problem. The assembler could definitely use speed modules. So let's just mod up the spot, or everything as much as possible. So we can do a speed mod here. We can do a speed mod here. Unfortunately, we can't do a speed mod on this side because it's covered by the cargo. We can do a speed mod here, which originally back then I thought it only fits one side, so it's gonna be like half efficient. But there's actually a small little port there, so we can add one here as well. Now we have 3 speed modules up and running for our assembler. So now we can produce things super fast. And we probably do not need that much computers. Alright, so today's video is more about, changing out the crane system here to a drill. Worked out pretty well. And of course, we were able to put some our refinery to work and put on some speed modules so we can produce a lot more steel plates, which would be perfect for our needs for finishing the home and also building other projects. And I think eventually we're gonna have to go and drill some more. So I don't know, let me know down below in the comments. Should I make this modular, or should I just make another crane system so that we don't have to deal with constantly switching the head systems here back and forth, which probably be more of an issue if I break them every time I try to attach them. So there's always that chance in that way. But all of that can be connected fairly easily, and I think, to be honest, it's all can be connected by either merge blocks with a conveyor junction, or as easily as a connector on both sides. So there's many really ways to do it. But again, if I am gonna turn it into a modular system with a drill, the hinges definitely need to be kind of multiplied. So the hinge or the joint that holds the piston up there needs one or two more hinges so that we can easily manipulate the motion or articulate it forward and backwards a little bit better than what it is, because it's way too heavy. Definitely need to change the camera over there to the other side so it's easier to control. But those are things for later. Today again we just needed resources, and of course drilling was a lot faster than grinding down a settlement for the resources. The difference is that grinding down the settlements, you do get various stuff which you can eventually disassemble for the iron that you need anyways. But drilling ore definitely is a much faster resource than grinding down a settlement. But that's not going to stop us from looking for new settlements down the line. Stay tuned for more. There's a lot more to go here, a lot more things to do. So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this series, and of course I'll see you in the next one. Bye.